over a period of years together. So what is my value addition? My value addition is probably there were around 10, 20 different presentations which has been clubbed together. So it is nothing like, and I'm pretty sure I will not have answers to all the questions which you may ask. So we have Vandamis with us to answer any of the question. Now, the biggest dilemma in anybody's mind is how scientific is Jainism? एंड व्हाट इज द फिलोसॉफी? जैसे आज हम अभी संथारे की बात कर रहे थे, आत्मा की बात कर रहे हैं, गति की बात करते हैं. So what is there any proof? What is the logic behind accepting this? Because the first question which came to my mind was, why should I accept this? Right. So there are two parts to this. So one, I'm going to talk about the life, and the second is about the universe. Let it be a very interactive session. I would like you to participate because it's nothing like solid proof ज्ञान. So कभी आपने सोचा ये धरती अपना पृथ्वी सूर्य के चारों तरफ क्यों घूमता है? कहां से आया ग्रेविटेशनल फोर्स?
It's a property of matter because sun is whatever the material, the weight and mass and energy. So it creates that kind of force. So the planet rotates.
Sorry, sun का खुद का magnetic power है because of so much fission reaction that is happening in the sun. तो उसकी वजह से बहुत ज़्यादा gravitational force होता है. And जितने planets का जो mass रहता है और उनका खुद का gravitation
So
उसके basis पे दिया.
Yeah, because of the fusion there is an expansion, not gravitation. Gravitation is absolutely different. Because of fusion, they say the universe is continuously expanding, and this expansion is because of the energy produced during the fusion process, right? And of course, in sun's environment, you've got fusion as well as fission. Coming to gravity, the two facts which we know, the gravity depends on the mass. सन का मास ज्यादा है, सन का ग्रेविटी ज्यादा है अर्थ से, अर्थ उसके चारों तरफ घूमता है. अर्थ का ग्रेविटी ज्यादा है मून से, मून उसके चारों तरफ घूमता है. But where this force comes from? I want an answer to that. How this force, is there any force which is pulling it? There has to be something. Otherwise, how it will attract?
Higgs boson.
Sorry?
The Higgs boson discovery where it says matter was given force, power, the gravity because of the Higgs boson.
No, so you're talking about the relative theory of Einstein, right? Wherein he says that everything is relative, moving to each other, time and space.
Where there's a particle, why does a particle have matter or pull or gravitation?
That's a property. Yes, that's my question. Is this exactly the same? Where that pull is coming from? Who is putting that pull? Where is that force coming? I mean, आप एक मिनट के लिए सोचिए कि अगर आपकी पृथ्वी सन के चारों तरफ नहीं घूमेगी तो आप तो गिर गए, खत्म हो गया, संसार ही खत्म हो गया. ठीक है? Where is this force coming from? Science doesn't have an answer.
The crust of the earth is made of molten metals, and every metal has some property of positive and negative thing. So that is how it is.
That is how you create the magnetic poles.
Correct.
That's exactly why you have the North Pole and South Pole. So what happens is the Earth core has got almost 60% iron. Now that is molten. Earth is revolving. Because of the revolution, this is semi-molten. So there is a lot of friction. That friction creates a charge. When the compound grains, they settle down in that charge, they build that force. That is a magnetic field. North Pole and South Pole. Whoa, that is proven. That is true. Agreed. Everybody.
I just don't know the reason for gravitation.
There has to be reason. There has to be some energy which is pulling it. Huh?
So you're saying scientists don't know yet?
Scientists don't know yet. Nobody knows where the gravity is coming from. In the science, nobody knows where the gravity is coming from.
How do you define gravity?
Gravity is a pull which is attracting everybody towards each other. So you have your own gravity. You are pulling me right now. I am pulling you. This mobile is pulling you towards yourself. You are pulling this mobile towards yourself. But with respect to the weight of the earth, the mass of this mobile phone is negligible, so we don't feel it. But Scientifically, everything is attracting each other.
Sir, in Hindi we say Gurutva.
Guruत्वाकर्षण.
So Guru
Gu-
से निकला है वो शब्द शायद, तो गुरु
द गुरु की शक्ति से निकला, ये तो मुझे नहीं मालूम है. यस जिमित भाई. यस सर. Uploads, yeah, because that is expansion. Afloat, yeah. So, yeah, that is the gravity. That is the gravity. Because of that. So, coming to the answer, nobody knows where the gravitational pull comes from. One of the biggest research which is happening today is to understand what they call it as dark energy. There is something called dark energy. They think the amount of energy which we know today in the universe is, this dark energy is substantially more than that energy. But we are yet to find out. We have been talking about black hole for ages, right? It was only 7 years before that they have captured one remote image of a black hole, right? And black hole, they say the gravitational pull is so high that if you take 1 teaspoon of material from neutron star or a black hole, that will weigh more than the weight of the earth. 1 teaspoon material is so compactly packed that it will weigh more than 1 teaspoon of the material. But anyway, so we make comparison in respect of universe and life, the two subjects which are mysterious to science. And we'll see whether Jainism can give an answer to this or not. And both science and Jainism do not accept creator God. Jainism doesn't believe in any creator God. We always believe in our theory of karmas, right? And not only one, how many crores and crores of years, I don't even know how to count how many lives I would have gone through and how many years I would have. In theory of infinity. Theory of infinity. So, universe consists of 3 things which we know: matter, space, and time. So, science says these are 3 independent things which are working together all the time, correlated to each other. In fact, that's how Einstein came up with the theory of relativity, right? Spatial and general theory of relativity. Now, as we also consider, and the science consider, time is having a motion. They say if the object is further away, the gravitational pull of that material, same material in a different time zone, would be different. The gravitational pull of the same material in a different time zone would be different. And it travels. So if it is further away, the gravitational force is much lesser. So now science concerns with discovering these laws and explanation of these processes and events through some laws. They are trying to evolve. Science is something which is trying to prove whatever is existing by way of experimentation, by way of experience, by way of some research. So they're trying to, so something is there. They're only trying to say and prove that, yes, it is like this. Einstein proposed interaction between 3 components and described relationship between them by the theory of relativity. What is theory of relativity? Anybody? It's against Isaac Newton. So first we used to think E is equals to MC is very one small part of it. So earlier we used to think, Shikshaji, sorry. So we used to think that apple falls down because of the gravitational pull. Isaac Newton, right? That's what we think. Einstein said no. What did Einstein say? He said it is the virtue of the material, that force is there, it is relative. But there is a time, there is a energy. Once it loses that energy, it will fall down. It has to happen. Everything has to fall down, irrespective of whether gravity is there or not. The theory marked a profound change in the understanding. I mean, if you have not read, you should read the general and spatial laws of relativity, which Einstein has said. Then came the quantum physics. We also talk about the quantum physics. Everything is mathematical formula. Any actuary over here? I mean, thousands of Excel sheets put together and millions of formulas put together. We try to do a quantum theory and assess how the matter is moving, how the energy is created, E is equals to mc square, and all those kind of things. So according to quantum mechanics, the reality of quantum level is described by the field in the mathematical forms. So whatever you can calculate, that is what you can today say that this is the amount of energy or this is how it happens. Beyond that, nobody knows. Even the science doesn't know. So interaction between the field produces particles which participate in the natural processes. So वो that इसके पीछे का जो साइंस रहा होगा, सोचने का जो रहा होगा, सो देर इज ऑलवेज एन इंटरैक्शन. जैसे हम कहते हैं हमारा कर्मों का थ्योरी जो डेवलप हुआ है, हम जो कहते हैं कि कोई भी चीज करोगा, देर इज यू क्रिएट अ कॉज, देर विल बी एन एक्शन टू दैट. You take an action, there will be a cost to that. So both relativity and quantum mechanics use mathematics to describe the theories. And very recently, Stephen Hawking, who got the Nobel Prize, says that we know the reality to the extent described and found by the mathematical formulas. उसके आगे क्या है तो वो तो उनको भी नहीं पता है. वो तो रिसर्च करके प्रूव करेंगे जो है वो है. So science has difficulty in explaining origin of universe. Does anybody know how the universe originated? Sir? Unknown. Okay. So
What is for Big Bang?
No, it doesn't matter. What is the Big Bang theory? What was before that?
exactly, nobody has an answer to that except for Jain philosophy. Except for Jain philosophy. So as per the science, what they say is everything started from a single dot and it continuously expanded. And even today we are expanding. Even today, every year we are moving away from each other by 30 centimeter or so. I mean, the distance between the earth and the moon or whatever, each planet, everything is expanding, continuously expanding. इनफैक्ट जब वंदामी कहते हैं कि किसी को सपने में कुछ आता है, कुछ बोलते हैं, हमारे जैनिज्म में होता है ना, हर एक तीर्थंकर की माता को सपने आए थे, देयर इज सम मैसेज गेटिंग कम्युनिकेटेड, पीपल यूज्ड टू टॉक अबाउट इट एंड देन उसका इफेक्ट होता है. मैं एक सिंपल सा एग्जांपल देखता हूँ. मैं जब इंजीनियर बना तो मेरे प्रोफेसर ने मुझे समझाया था, बताया था, राजेश, today the number of landlines what you see, in next 10 years you will have 10 times more mobile phones. And everybody in that, he was a professor of IIT, so everybody laughed. ये क्या ठोक रहा है, 10 साल में मोबाइल न सब. We saw that happening. Today you talk to anybody in India on a video call free of cost on a real time basis. We could not have even thought about it 20 years before. It has happened, right? आज जो कम्युनिकेशन हो रहा है हमारा, वो माइक्रोवेव से हो रहा है. दैट इज प्रूवन, राइट? ऑस्ट्रेलिया में मैच चलता है, मेरा टीवी पे लाइव आता है, somebody is capturing the image, converting into waves, it comes through microwaves, through a transmission tower in London, comes to Sky TV channel, through that dish to your house, and you see it. It's very well known. So the science says all these microwaves once upon a time were gamma waves. And gamma rays were the ones which didn't have any charge or any mass, unlike alpha or beta or X-ray. They didn't have any charge and any mass. The whole universe was full of gamma rays. Gradually, as they traveled, their wavelength increased, they became microwave. What is the difference between gamma or X-ray or microwave? The difference in the wavelength, right? So as the wavelength increased, they traveled a farther distance and they could carry that message. So you will be surprised, I will not be surprised if actually somebody would be doing a physical operation, or maybe you yourself can fly through one of these mode media waves and get to India in 50 minutes. Quite possible. At the end of the day, you need a carrier. You never know, something would be invented. Now, from astronomical observations, It is found, seen, we all see galactic structures. So it means your galaxies, it means your own solar system, the one which we have. कभी किसी ने रात को तारे देखे हैं? तारे कौन सा कलर है? व्हाइट. आप किसी दिन रात को जब पूरा आकाश क्लियर हो, थोड़ा अंदर अंधेरे में बैठ करके, so that your pupil are fully dilated, graze the sky, you will see all the stars white, silver, shiny color. You look them for a longer time, deeper time, you will see millions of, initially you will see 1,000 stars. Then you will see millions of stars. Then you will see probably red stars. I have seen. So when a sky is clear, and usually people go in the well so that there is no light. So your pupil expands, dilates as much as it can so that you can see. You will see different colors of the stars. And these colors, they say, is because of the distance. Wavelength is different, so the color is different. You can actually see the stars of 7 colors, which are the natural 7 colors which we see. Visible light, 7 colors. And then, Hasubai, the importance of white color. All the colors mixed together is white. All the natural rainbow colors, if you mix together, it's white. So white is considered as the highest power, photon energy. We'll talk about that. So figure shows the observable universe. So आज science यहाँ पर आकर के रुक गया है. Yes, madam. Sorry? Huh. Possible, some waves. Some waves. जैसे आज आपका somebody is pregnant. So what do? We use sonic waves to see the image of their body. So there are images, sound waves, so ultrasound waves, which you send. They can pass through the muscles. They bounce back from the bone, so you create a shape of the object. So now we know that these are ultrasound waves, and I can use it for creating an image of a kidney or liver. Tomorrow some other wave may come, we don't know. Quite possible. वो जो कहते हैं ना कि हनुमान जी उड़ के आए थे और उड़ करके पूरा पहाड़ लेकर के आ गए, maybe he would have flown. Quite possible. Quite possible. देवता बात करते थे एक दूसरे से, करते होंगे, जरूर करते होंगे. He did or he didn't? He did. Okay. So probably that's what I'm saying. So there would have been some mode. So eventually I will come down to the same point that we are talking about some waves which are there, some energy which is there, a pattern which is there in the universe, which carries all this energy through the way of Jainism. So this is what we know. 10 to the power 22 kilometer is the diad, maybe 200. And the distances are so high. The distances, we talk in terms of light years. What is 1 light year? Anybody? आप जो तारा आज देखते हैं आसमान में, वो तारा वहां पर है? That star is not there at all. It has moved long before. We see today at that spot. The light has taken 1 light year. So it's around 4 light years. So it would be around, I don't know, 24 trillion kilometers away. So the light has taken so much of time that by the time that the star is somewhere else altogether. 1.8 into 10 to the power 8.
Google.
So now we come to the Jainism view. Now we come to the Jainism view. मैडम समझिए, उनका तो नाम ही शिक्षा है तो. So Jainism. Now I will need your support, Vandami, in terms of proving all this. So Jainism believes in Loka, Lok, which contains 6 substances. Vandami ने अपने को बहुत अच्छी तरह समझाया और सभी जानते हैं. जीव, सोल, पुद्गल, मैटर, आकाश, space, kal, time, and principles of dharma and adharma, karma, theory of karma. So these are the 6 substances which has been proven by Jainism ages before. And how we connect to the science, I'll let you know in a minute. They say only the soul and matter is interactive. जो भी आपका जिंदगी में हो रहा है या एक जीवन में होगा वो सोल और मैटर का है. बाकी जो आपका धर्म अधर्म स्पेस टाइम है that is not active. Active in the sense interactive. There is no communication happening with them as long as it is your life. Only matter is corporeal, rest are non-corporeal. Pudgal ही एक चीज है जिसका it's a matter, it's a pudgal, right? So it contains, it has an object, it has shape, it has got size, it has got properties, it has got functions. All substances are eternal, giving an eternal universe. And lok has well-defined shape. This is what we believe as per Jainism. So the one which you see in the center, right? The one which you see in the center, middle lok, right? That is the only part which we consider as the universe, which the scientists consider as the universe. So you can imagine the upper lok is so big, much higher, and the lower lok is even bigger than that, which still the science doesn't know, which science doesn't know even today. And not only this lok, we also believe that there is an alok, which is beyond this lok. Okay. So upper part contains the heaven, middle part contains the habited planet, solar system. आपका sun आ गया, Mercury आ गया, अपने Neptune आ गया, उसके सब planets आ गए, draft planets आ गए. Lower part contains the hell, and space outside the lok is alok, right? It is well defined, it is well written, documented, so we know about it. So now, just talking about the universe which we know today is around 1.8 10 to the power 21 kilometers wide, right? So the middle part which you see, the section on which is joining the upper eclipse and the lower eclipse would be 1.85 10 to the power 22 kilometers wide. I'm not talking about the circumference. That would be the dia if you consider circular. And upper and lower lok do not have light. This is another big observation which Jain Acharyas did, that upper and lower lok doesn't have light. Now science ends when there is no light. Science ends, yes ma'am. वो तो अपना मिडिल लोक में आ रहा है. हाँ सॉरी अपर लोक में है. सो अंधेरा है. यस सॉरी अंधेरा है. Yeah 100%. There is no light beyond the middle level. Beyond our universe there is no light. Yes sir. हाँ
वहाँ जो
जेम्स
उसका इतना ज्यादा लाइट है कि सूर्य प्रकाश से भी
ज्यादा होता है. But there is no planet, there is no fission or fusion, there is no materialistic pudgal which will give you the light. There is no matter. Yeah. हाँ जी. That is again, I think it's an analogy being given. We don't know what it is. So we are not talking about having those gems. हो सकता है वरना मुझे पता नहीं है.
ये बात को छोड़ दे.
It's very, there is no answer to many questions, right?
जो रिसर्च और उनके हिसाब से चलिए.
Okay. Now we come to the life. एक बच्चा पैदा होता है तो उसमें लाइफ कैसे आती है? Has anybody, I think females can answer this question better than males. How do you think life comes to an embryo? Zygote जब बनता है वो पुद्गल हो गया, वो तो सब मैटर हो गया. एक बार आपका फर्टिलाइजेशन हो गया, baby through the head. Okay, that's again a hypothesis, I guess. So the science says a living organism has got a body. The body is made up of cells. Cells will make tissues. Tissues will make organs. organs will make organ system will make an organism, right? This is what science is. So we start with the concept of cells, and that same concept is being followed in Jainism for ages. So the science says that everything which a baby has is dependent on the DNA, right? DNA, genes. DNA carries the gene. So you've got a cell, cell has got a nucleus, nucleus has got chromosomes, chromosomes has got DNA, DNA has got genes, and this genes carries the characteristics of one person, one living organism, right? And it is this genes which get transferred to the baby. That's what the science believes, right? In science, life is creation of matter. It cannot explain our emotions, sense of pain and pleasure, our behavior and action. No doctor can tell you कि आपका स्वभाव कैसा होगा, या आपके एक्सपीरियंस कैसे हैं, या आपका पेन कैसा है, कितना है. वो पूछेगा 1 to 10 का स्केल में कितना लगता है. 1 to 10 मेरा स्केल कैन बी डिफरेंट देन 1 to 10 स्केल ऑफ हिम. आप मेरे को एक थप्पड़ मारोगे, मैं नीचे गिर जाऊंगा. उसको मारोगे तो वो तो मेरे को, मैं गिर जाऊंगा शायद, right? So it is always relative. Science cannot measure all this. Some scientists personally believe that matter alone cannot explain life, and there is existence of some entity beyond the physical life which we talk about. There has to be something which is governing the life. And science cannot explain why the life exists and what was the previous purpose, and what is the purpose of life, or what was our previous life. Science cannot explain. मरने के बाद आपका क्या होगा या मरने के पहले क्या हुआ था, वो साइंस को पता नहीं. Jainism view. Life exists. Please understand this. Life exists as interaction between soul and matter. मैं मरता हूं, मेरा इंटरेक्शन जो इस पुद्गल बॉडी से है, जो मैटर से है, वो खत्म हो गया है. My soul is still there. My soul is still there. Soul is non-physical, non-corporeal, eternal substance having properties of consciousness. And this has been defined, Chetana. It has been very well categorically defined, Tesna, and Upayoga, manifestation of consciousness. So let's talk about, so consciousness is again, I mean, when you talk about Upayoga, there are Gyan, power of knowing, and Darshan. That's what we talk in Jainism, Gyan Darshan, right? So these are the main two fundamental foundation based on which the whole concept has been derived. Now, consciousness. What is consciousness, Chetana? सबसे बड़ा हमारा जो जैन धर्म बोलता है चेतना रखो, consciousness, right? So our brain, I think, works in 3 different modes. Conscious brain, subconscious mind, and non-conscious. And these 3 activities are tapped in our brain. So they say whatever you think, conscious mind can think only one thing at a time. Conscious mind can think only one thing at a time. It's highly focused. Subconscious mind is all your memory, experiences, whatever you have registered. And another interesting fact, every single thing which has passed through your eyes is registered in your brain. You may retrieve, you may not retrieve. समनी जी बताते हैं कई बार weird dreams आते हैं, किसी को weird dreams आते हैं, कभी कभी घबराने वाले आते हैं. क्यों आते हैं? Yes. Because not something you want to see, because there is something which is stored in your mind, and mind has got confused and they have got mingled up. But otherwise, you cannot see anything in dream which has not gone through in front of your eyes. Your brain doesn't have that power of imagination. It has to be registered. It has to be in the memory.
Subconscious mind can only think about past events, not future events.
No, everything. It stores. It has got a memory. जो भी आपका memory है. So, subconscious mind is your सेरिबेलम कॉर्टेक्स जो सबसे बड़ा अपना ब्रेन का जो आगे का पार्ट है ना, जो दैट इज व्हाट इज द बिगेस्ट डेवलपमेंट इन मिलियंस ऑफ इयर्स बिटवीन ह्यूमन बींग्स. अदरवाइज मैं भी चिंपांजी हूँ. My DNA today is 99% same as that of a chimpanzee. 99% मैं बंदर हूँ, चिंपांजी. The only 1% difference is the difference in the development of the cerebral cortex, which is your memory, intelligence, quantitative reasoning, logic. वही 1% फर्क है. बाकी बंदर को भी 2 आंख है, मेरे को भी 2 आंख है, उसको भी एक नाक है, मुझे भी एक नाक है, एक मुंह है, मुझे भी एक. Biologically we are same, except for the subconscious mind. So that is conscious mind can think only one thing as per science. Subconscious mind, your experiences, memory. So there is always an interaction happening. अच्छा, इसने मुझे पिछली बार 100 रुपए लिए थे और दिए नहीं है. हाँ, वो मुझे याद है. You recollect, you experiences, right? नहीं, वो एयर इंडिया का सर्विस अच्छा नहीं, उसमें नहीं जाने का. You recollect. That is all your subconscious. And most of the time, the decisions which we take, 60% of the communication is coming from the subconscious mind.
Example of past events. Suppose, to give you an example, if I am cooking something in the morning, that other thing is going in my mind that what I will cook for the evening dinner. So that is not related to past event. That is the forthcoming event which will happen in evening.
Correct. So when you're thinking about what to cook, at that moment of time, it is your conscious mind which is thinking, and you will think only about one thing.
So you mean
and
subconsciously
it affects, definitely it affects. The whole purpose of the brain, the scientific purpose of the brain is accumulation of these experiences and memory. Otherwise तो मैं भी एक मच्छर की तरह उड़ रहा होता, पता ही नहीं चलता मैं कहाँ हूँ कहाँ नहीं हूँ. Okay, so Jainism's view, in its pure form, the soul is knower, has infinite intelligence. The way we say universe is infinite, knowledge is infinite. Perceiver has infinite power of perception. And that is the reason probably Jainism believes in Anikantwad. Everybody might be right. It's a perception. It's my perception. It's your perception. Source of bliss has a perfect power of perfect bliss. Even the photons, which we'll talk now, they can travel. They can give you, I mean, and probably if you firmly believe, you can feel also. वंदामी ने तो कितने केसेस सुनाए हैं, बताए हैं, उन्होंने देखे हैं. आचार्य श्री आशीर्वाद देते हैं, शक्ति आ जाती है. आचार्य श्री आशीर्वाद देते हैं, ठीक हो जाते हैं आदमी. देयर इज एन इमेंस पावर, ब्लिसफुलनेस. सोर्स ऑफ स्पिरिचुअल एनर्जी has infinite spiritual energy, right relief, power to perceive reality in its absolute form. Every single soul has got that power. And source of right conduct has the power to act in a righteous way. Now, one important question, again coming back to the same thing, how non-physical soul is connected to the gross physical body. So हम लोग अभी तक बात करते हैं पुद्गल है, शरीर है, आत्मा अलग है, but what is the connection between this? How the body is connected to the soul? I mean, वंदा में थोड़ी गुस्ताखी माफ, लेकिन इसमें कुछ हो सकता है डिफरेंस ऑफ ओपिनियन भी रहेगा और मैं आपकी so we say soul is not directly connected to body. There are two subtle bodies in between, Karman body and Tejas or electric body. There is a Karman body which does physical things, and there is a Tejas body. So there is a layer in between the soul and the physical body. Karman bodies has karmas in physical form, Dravya karma. There are two kinds of karmas. Biological karma, so responsible for constructing and maintaining the body. So जैसे we were talking about a baby. So when the zygote is formed, till that time it is a zygote, and how the life comes to that zygote, I'll tell you. But once it develops, the cells divides. It's a simple mitosis. हो रहा है. वो cells divide होते जाते हैं, बाद में बढ़ता हो जाता है, बढ़ता जाता है. And there is a time when my cells don't generate, I become old, I maintain my body, I become very old, I will die. There are plants which can live for thousands, 4,000 years, 5,000 years. They have the capability to develop those stem cells. Physical karma determine physical performance of the soul. These carry the basic power of the soul. And what is this tejas, or the electrical body? By the way, they say every single communication which is happening in your brain, there are at least trillions of synapses every second happening in your brain, trillions. And all these are waves. And they say if you put a 20-watt bulb, you can lit a 20-watt bulb with your brain. That much is the power which the brain has got at any moment of time. Traditionally, if you see any country you go, people used to cover their head. टोपी पहनते हैं ना, कैप. कहीं पे भी चले जाओ, साफा, टोपी, कुछ ना कुछ यहाँ पे कैप पहनते थे. What was the reason? Probably they are trying to store that photovoltaic energy in the head. The energy resources were not many, so at least whatever energy they have, they will like to keep it inside. And the third and the most interesting thing is the mind. That makes you, that aligns with your, that is between the brain and the chetana, which is coordinating between the two. It is another subtle unit that exists in human being. So this is how theoretically we can explain. The S on the left-hand side is your soul. Soul is connected to your physical karma, your biological karma, and memories. And then you have got a tejas body in between. And then you have got the gross body. So the gross body is combination of your tejas body, brain, and there is always a communication. अपन जो लेस्या बोलते हैं, वंदामी जो लेस्या की बात करें, that is that L, that is the bhav, that is communicating between the tejas body and the brain. So उन्हीं परिस्थिति में, जैसा आई थिंक कल ही वंदामी ने कहा, उन्हीं परिस्थिति में दो आदमी उसी चीज को देख रहे हैं, लेकिन दोनों में अलग अलग भाव आ रहे हैं. That is because of your lesha. The connection, the communication which is happening between the brain and the mind, that makes the difference. And that is the tejas is the property of this body matter. Okay. So lesha is another means of interaction between the soul and the body. Lesha originates in Karman body. It originates in the Karman body and are supposed to interact with the endocrine gland system. Now here comes the science. I think Dr. Dugar would know better than me. So they say any emotion which is created in your mind affects all the different organs in the body. वंदामी ने भी बताया था कि स्ट्रेस होता है तो उसके कारण होगा, फिर पेट दुखेगा तो फिर सिर दुखेगा तो कमजोरी लगेगी तो गुस्सा आएगा. So it affects. Why? Because the hormones which are secreted in the glands, they are circulated in the whole body through blood. Blood goes to every single cell of the body. So it's obviously going to affect all the organs. It is obviously going to affect all the organs. Now, as I said, mind is coupled to the brain. The two together control all the biological and psychic activities. When we were talking about consciousness, one thing which I forgot to tell you about the non-conscious mind. आपके शरीर में कई चीजें ऐसी हैं वो तो आपको पता भी नहीं कि कैसे कंट्रोल हो रही है. There is a part in the brain called medulla. So you respire every single second. Do you control it? No. Your blood is getting circulated, pumping of the heart. It is fully automated. आप रात को 11 बजे पाव भाजी खा के सो जाते हो. The food get digested in the morning when you get up. Somebody is working. In fact, they say the whole body works when you sleep. The immunity of a body, which is by WBC, which is in the blood, the brain keeps scouting the whole body throughout the night. What's happening? What's wrong? मुझे कहाँ लगी है, क्या हो रहा है, कहाँ खराब है, उसको रात को ठीक करता है. If that, I mean, this is, I have observed, if there is an injury, right? The whole day it will be like this, as it is. But the next day morning when I get up, it is healed up. Almost 50%. Somebody has worked overnight. Your WBC are trying to work on it. The new cells are generating. Mitosis is occurring. This all is your non-conscious mind, medulla. Now comes the concept of our biophotons. So discovery of biophotons helps in explanation. Living system emit biophotons, a weak light. आप गुरुदेव के चरणों में वंदना करते हैं या अपने माँ बाप को मिलते हैं तो आप उनके पांव छूते हैं. क्यों छूते हो पांव? एनीबडी? उनके वाइब्रेशन आते हैं. देयर इज एन एनर्जी. So the whole purpose, Shiksha ji, when you hug somebody, is basically you're trying to exchange that energy. In fact, COVID में तो आपने किया भी है. We have got infrared cameras, right? You just check the whole body. You can see the temperature. Your brain would be the red. एयरपोर्ट पे जाते हो, टेम्परेचर सेंसर लगाता है इंफ्रारेड का, वो बता देता है आपको टेम्परेचर है साहब, आप क्वारंटाइन हो जाइए, राइट? सो बॉडी हैज गॉट लॉट ऑफ एनर्जी, बायोफोटॉन्स. The biophotons are supposed to originate from a coherent electromagnetic field. So there is a huge amount of electromagnetic field inside the body which is working, continuously creating that power for you. And such photons can activate 109 reactions per second per cell. And your body has got trillions of cells. So you're talking about multiple hundreds of trillions of reactions happening at every single moment. Thus, biophoton regulate the whole biochemistry and biology of your life. It is this energy which controls entire body, physical body, whatever you have. And the DNA is the possible storage place where the biophotons are emitted. Now we were talking about this zygote. So we were talking about कि वो बच्चे में आत्मा कहाँ से आती है, कब आती है? So we have got the male sperms, we have got eggs, they fertilize. And Jainism has written long back, within 48 minutes, it gets the soul. Within 48 minutes, right? And then, in fact, when it happens, that is the process biologically we call it as meiosis, not mitosis. Mitosis is different. Meiosis is the process wherein you get half the chromosomes from male, half the chromosomes from female, right? And that is the only process in the body which happens through meiosis. Rest everything, once the fertilization has occurred, it is all mitosis. It's going to replicate. You cannot create anything new. It only replicates. Mitosis is replicational cell. And in fact, when I was 3 months old in my mother's womb, I had all my organs. I had my heart, I had my ears, I had my nose, I had my legs, I had my hand. Everything was there. And then it only develops. It's a process of mitosis. It's only the meiosis that is which happens when the soul enters the zygote. In the former, the former organism develops completely, and in the later, organism develops. So we call it as paryapt and aparyapt. There are many cases wherein the kids born are not fully grown. That is because of this fertilization process. So transfer of zygote from mother to fetus, soul. There is an exchange of Karman body and Tejas body. This is where the exchange of Karman body and Tejas body happens. There are many people who run programs for pregnant mothers on ethics and on what to do, what not to do, how to think. And I have my personal experience with many people. You run a soothing music, the child keeps calm and quiet, right? I'm pretty sure you might have also observed or felt. So cells divide and assemble in a particular pattern. Now what happens? Once this soul has come in, it develops, it divides, and it creates its own spatial features for every different organ which you have in your body. This is how we say soul, Karman body, Tejas body, and the gross body. And there is my brain, which is interacting with the soul through the mind. So soul is absolutely different, separate entity reacting with my Pudgal body. And this interaction predominantly happens because of the electromagnetic level, so-called vibrations, so-called so-called biophotons, whatever you call, or quanta. So Jainism believes the cycle of life and death goes as long as karmas exist. As long as karmas are existing, your photons are getting generated, plus or minus, negative or positive, and you will have to bear it. There is no other way other than to get rid of all your karmas by doing the good things. Life is seen as full of dukh, sorrow, and misery. Because this is the karma which we have bonded. मनुष्य जीवन में आए हैं, तुमको ये काट करके जाना है. This is an opportunity because we know, we understand, we have got that knowledge कि हम इसको काट सकते हैं. The ultimate aim of life in Jainism is to get rid of dukkha by ending the cycle of birth and death. I think Vandami will speak more on that. And thus, for this to happen, karmas have to be eliminated. This requires austere life and prevents bonding of karma and shedding of the existing karma. So the whole philosophy of Jainism, in fact, many of the religions, is the theory of the karma. Now the issues. Problem क्या है? ये सब समझ लिया, जान लिया. Biggest obstacle in this attempt is body and mind. We don't know how it works. Soul wants body comforts and mind opposes any steps that prevents it. So mind will not allow to get that comfort to you. Jainism comes as an option, as an answer. Jainism prescribes ways to overcome this hurdle. Body is trained to bear hardships by force and resolve, and mind is silenced by yoga and meditation. जो हम सामायिक कहते हैं. सामायिक का मतलब क्या है? Meditation का मतलब क्या है? Basically, you're trying to control your mind, right? And that's how you are trying to give peace to your soul. On shedding of physical karma, soul becomes omniscient. That's what we have been learning for last 7 days. On shedding all karmas, soul is liberated from the bondage of matter, Pudgal, and attains its pure state of Siddha Paramatma. So a lot of philosophy.